Live from the Sports and Recreation Center on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're listening to women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. Today in the second game of a conference doubleheader, the College of Staten Island will take on Hunter College. The College of Staten Island men's team continuing to roll as they were able to defeat Hunter College by a final score of 85-80, a win that gave the Dolphins their 11th win in a row, making them 14-0 in the CUNYAC Conference, including 17-6 overall. And just a programming note, we will be joined shortly by head men's basketball coach Tony Petosa, as he will be joining us here this afternoon to give us his impressions on this CSI men's basketball team that have wrapped up the CUNYAC regular season championship and continue to build on their momentum as they've now won 11 games in a row. So big game for the men's team this afternoon. Frankie Schettino, 25 points, 11 rebounds. Kevon Murphy, 23 points, 15 rebounds. And now an opportunity for the women's basketball team as they look to continue on their winning ways here in this 2016-17 season. And the women's team coming in just as hot as the men, as they've won 10 games in a row. They're sitting at 12-1 in the CUNYAC Conference, but the difference is that they're just one game ahead of both Brooklyn College and Lehman College, and the Dolphins will have to face both of those teams in this upcoming week. But first, they're going to have to get by the Hunter Hawks here at home before they go on the road Tuesday night to play Brooklyn College, and then come back home to finish the regular season with the finale this Friday night against Lehman College. Huge CUNYAC Conference playoff implications with those games. The Dolphins can finish as high as first if they maintain their current position and get themselves a double bye in the CUNYAC tournament, or they could drop down to as low as third, and that would force them to play in the second round against the winner of the play-in games. So the CUNYAC tournament will be just like on the men's side. 8 will play 5, 6 will play 7, 3 and 4 will play the winners of those games, and then the first and second teams in the CUNYAC Conference will draw byes. In the CUNYAC standings on the women's side, Staten Island 12-1, Brooklyn College narrowly escaping a tough game against Baruch College, but they were able to hold on and get the victory to maintain their position at 11-2. Lehman also at 11-2. Baruch College, that will not be in the conference tournament, are at 8-5, and then we have Hunter at 7-5, CCNY at 4-9, York at 2-11, and then John Jay and Medgar Evers just with one win in conference play here in the regular season. As we mentioned, this CSI women's basketball team coming in red hot. They've won 11 in a row. They had a big road non-conference win against Drew University. They had a stretch of games where they played 3 games in 4 days, and they were able to win all 3 of those games. So just continued good play by this CSI women's basketball team as they continue to come in on a roll. For Hunter College, they're coming into the game in the middle of the pack. They're sitting at 7-5. It looks like they will finish in 4th place in this CUNYAC Conference. That would give them a bye in their first game, in the first round, and then they would play the winner of the 5-8 game, I do believe, if the number 5 seed emerges victorious. The women's basketball team, as we mentioned, coming in playing very well. They're averaging over 75 points a game. They've given up just over 58 points a game, and they've been playing good, strong basketball. They'll be tested here tonight by a Hunter College team that's led by Jade Aponte. Aponte coming in, averaging over 14 points a game. 2 Hawks in double figures. Teresa Legg, the other player, in double figures, averaging just over 10 points a game for the CSI Dolphins. It's Christina Passatoro. She scored 20 or more points in 17 consecutive games. She's second in the conference in scoring, averaging 22.5 points a game. And, Christina continuing to play really strong basketball here for the CSI Dolphins this year. And Dolphins looking to continue to get hot play out of Passatoro here this afternoon as the Dolphins look to continue on their winning way. Samantha Flecker, who had suffered a little bit of back spasms at the end of the game against Mega Evers, out on the floor. It looks like she will play this afternoon. And, again, the Dolphins looking to continue their winning ways here in CUNYAC Conference play in a game that is critical for the Dolphins' playoff chances here against Hunter College this afternoon. The CSI Dolphins team has played Hunter College earlier this year. That was back on January 11th. They went out into the Hunter College gym and played very well in that game and ended up with a 22-point victory. Hunter College, as we mentioned, coming in to this game with a 7-5 conference record, but they've struggled against some of the better teams in their conference. Probably their best win of the regular season occurred earlier when they were able to go on the road, beat CCNY. They've played a good game against Lehman College, but they've dropped their games to Brooklyn and Lehman so far this year. So we have just about 2 minutes remaining before the start of this game between the College of Staten Island and Lehman College. We'll step aside, we'll take one final break, and then we'll be back to bring you the starting lineups and the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and Hunter College as you're watching women's basketball coverage right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of today's game between the College of Staten Island and Hunter College. The College of Staten Island in the middle of a 10-game winning streak. They're 12-1 in CUNYAC conference play. The only blemish on their regular season record was a home loss to Baruch College back on January 4th. But the Dolphins are red hot since then, undefeated since that loss against Baruch College. They will face a very tough Hunter College squad, a Hunter College team that has historically played the CSI Dolphin team very well. They're coming in with a record of 11-10 and 7-5 overall in the CUNYAC conference. So let's bring you the starting lineups for tonight's game. First, for the visiting Hunter Hawks, it'll be number 3, freshman Teresa Lung. Number 10, Ashley Arias. Number 11, their leading scorer, Jada Ponte, averaging just over 14 points a game. Number 21, Christine Patterson. And number 24, Selena Lim. For the College of Staten Island, it'll be number 2, Christina Passatoro. Number 10, Angelique Price. Number 14, Victoria Cray. Victoria doing double duty here this afternoon for the Dolphins. First, she was swimming in the women's championships earlier this morning, back at the basketball gym here this afternoon for the women's basketball game. Number 31, Samantha Flecker, and number 32, Rosa Perone. The Dolphins coach is Tim Shanahan. Coach Shanahan looking to break that glass ceiling for the Dolphins as they've been stuck in the semifinal round of the CUNYAC conference here for the last few years, and they're going to look to improve their standing. Dolphins coming into today's game in first place, just a game ahead of both Brooklyn and Lehman College. Dolphins must face both of those teams here as we're getting ready to wind down the regular season. So we're just moments away from the start of today's game between the Dolphins and the Hawks, as Rosa Perone set to jump for the Dolphins as she will jump. And the opening tip controlled by the Dolphins is Passatoro's pass is going to be knocked away and stolen. So the Dolphins turn the ball over in their first possession. Hunter looking to get the ball back down the floor, but Flecker able to steal. So both teams with a turnover here as the Dolphins have turned the ball over twice. Hunter once here in the first 22 seconds here in the opening half. Lim with the basketball now for the Hawks. Lim working the ball across as it's Lang with the basketball as she looks to call out a play here for Hunter College as she puts up the open three-pointer. It's up no good. The rebound tipped around, and Hunter College controlling the rebound. So Hunter off to a good start here this afternoon as they will have their second opportunity at the basket with the Dolphins and Hunter just underway. A minute into play and no score. Patterson working the ball now in the corner as it goes to Lim. Lim feeding it over to Lang, and her runner in the lane is good, and Hunter College leads by a score here of 2-0. Cray getting the ball out over to Flecker, just underway here as Passatoro has the basketball now for the Dolphins. She works the ball in the corner to Angelique Price, whose open three-pointer is up no good. A fight for the rebound, and the ball is going to be grabbed by Christina Passatoro as the Dolphins get the offensive rebound, and they'll have another possession. Rosa Perone with the basketball. Perone looking to work the ball over to Cray. We mentioned Craig coming back from the swimming championships here earlier this afternoon as we have a whistle, and the ball will be tied up, and the jump ball possession will go to Hunter College. And with that, we are very pleased now to be joined by the head men's basketball coach, Tony Petosa. And first, Coach, congratulations for your regular season CUNYAC championship.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it very much.
And, Coach, you came into today's game. The team had already clinched the regular season championship. What was the mindset of the team here this afternoon as opposed to the rest of the regular season?
Just to go out and play as hard as we can and to win a basketball game. You know, what we've done in the past doesn't matter. We need to move on. I'm going to try to just keep our kids mentally focused on the next game. and hopefully finish out the season the right way.
You know, Coach, the team had lost so many players coming in from last year, and, you know, you were wondering how these new players would be able to gel, but you have to be thrilled that they've been able to play 14 regular season games in conference and remain undefeated.
Well, you know what? The record's not what I'm really most happy about. To be honest with you, it's the attitudes that I've had. It's an environment that I look forward to coming to every day. I have really nice kids. It's nice to be able to say that. I've struggled with saying that sometimes over the past couple of years, so this has made it that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, and, you know, Frankie Schettino has set the all-time career record in assists, and, you know, Coach, this basketball team has had so many plays. It really says something how early Schettino set the record in his senior year.
Well, listen, Frankie, the one thing when he's playing at his best, and I don't think he played at his best tonight even though he played well, he distributes the ball and gets everybody else involved, and that's his first responsibility, and when he does that, he's very good.
You know, Coach, it seems like when the Dolphins are able to hit their shots from the outside, especially Eden Bracic, who had been hot coming into the game today, it really opens up so many things on the inside.
Yeah, listen, Eden made one huge shot. He definitely helps us put the ball in the basket, and we need that. That's the one thing I think we struggle to do is put the ball in the basket, both inside and outside. So when he makes shots, it makes us better. And, you know, just to point out, Christian Taylor did an excellent job today putting the ball in the basket also.
You know, Coach, it seems like you're playing a lot more players this year than you have in the past. And, you know, players like Stephen Flagg and Jade Spencer coming off the bench for you. Rossiter starting and playing well. And then you added new talent with Darryl Bryant in the middle of the season.
Well, you know what? It's not always the easiest thing to do. It's not always the best thing to do. But I just feel like the way the kids practice that I'm trying to get 10, sometimes 11 kids in. And to get their feet wet. And now I don't know what's going to happen once we, you know, as we approach the end of the season, but, you know, I definitely want to play 9 at a minimum during games and then kind of see what we have to go from there.
You know, sometimes, Coach, teams like to clinch early and get plenty of time off. You're going to have almost 3 weeks in between games that are going to have a meaning for you in the regular season. How do you keep the team mentally sharp during that time?
That's a very good question, and it's not the fact that we're not it's not the fact that we clinch games that's the problem. It's the fact that we have a 13-day layoff in between the last game and the CUNYs, which in my opinion I've been pretty outspoken about it. I think is absolutely ridiculous. I spoke about it last year and I said it's absolutely a travesty that we do that. We penalize our best teams, and it's not a reward to you get a bye, but you know what? You get a bye and you sit around, and it's very hard to keep kids, especially college kids, focused for 2 weeks almost.
You know, we're about 4 minutes into the game here. We're tied at 4. We're pleased to be joined by head coach Tony Petosa as the Dolphins continue to roll on 17-6 and 14-0 on the year. And, you know, Coach, you've played some very tough non-conference teams this year. You've done well in some games, and you've led in halftime in most of them. How do you feel the way the team has played out of the conference this year?
Well, listen, again, we play teams that going in, I said before each game, if we could really get blown out here if we don't do the right thing. And I think we were competitive in every single game except for one. And again, it was more about getting my kids ready, prepared to the intensity level and the athleticism and the talent level that we're going to face. That, in all honesty, the CUNY teams have some of that, but they don't have it from 15 guys. Those teams that we played have benches that are really, really deep, and they have 1 or 2 studs that can carry a team against anybody.
You know, Coach, you've had an opportunity to play every team in the conference so far, and, right now CCNY and Lehman are both sitting in second place. Both teams have lost 4 games this year, and it seems like CCNY has really improved their team a lot from last year.
Well, it's a funny thing is CCNY is the same team as last year. They haven't added anybody that's made a difference for them. It's just their kids got a little bit older and maybe a little bit hungrier. I do think they're the most talented team in the conference. And again, the fact that we're playing at their site is not actually a very good decision based upon our conference commissioners.
And, Coach, it's a Dolphin team this year that, really has surprised a lot of people, I think. And, you've gotten improved play out of several of your returning players, but it's really the freshman players that leave a lot of room for optimism with this program.
Listen, I have a bunch of freshmen and a couple who don't play a lot who I think are going to be very good players. There are a couple that are very close to being real good players. I think you saw a little bit of that tonight out of Jade and out of Christian. But we have 2 or 3 other freshmen who I feel have the ability to definitely have an impact on our program.
You know, Coach, you're rolling into the CUNYAC playoffs. You'll go right into the semifinal round. And, you know, it seems hard to believe, but it's been since the 2012-2013 season since this team's won the CUNYAC championship. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to go through this tournament and emerge as the champions.
Well, let me tell you something. I've been through 2 droughts. I think one was 7 years, another one was 12 years. It's really difficult. And if you're fortunate enough to have a right group of kids, you want to win it when you can. And you know what? I don't know if this group is good enough to win the whole thing. But I'd like to think we can, and we're going to do the best that we can.
And one final question, Coach, before we let you go. You know, this is a team that really had superstar players that were scoring over 20 points a game. This year, a lot more of a dispersion in the offense. What kind of team do you like coaching more?
Well, listen, it's not. I mean, I would love the best talent in the country, to be honest with you. It's nice to have that level of talent. But what I have this year, while we might not have that so-called superstar, even though Frankie's pretty damn good, these kids they respond and they listen to each other, they respect each other, they play for each other, and I don't think that's what we've had a couple of times in the past few years, and that's what makes this year so much more enjoyable. Because even when things aren't going real well, like tonight, I feel like I have the kids. I feel like they're listening to what I'm trying to get them to do, and whether or not they do it right, it's more important almost to do it hard.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Coach, and good luck throughout the CUNYAC tournament, and hopefully this will be the year this team could fight its way back into the NCAA tournament.
For these young men, I hope so.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks, Michael.
That's head men's basketball coach Tony Petosa, really nice enough to come over and join us here this afternoon as the College of Staten Island is able to win on the men's side. And here in this game, we're tied at 8. As we have 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. It's been a good back-and-forth first half here as Angelique Price goes up and lays the ball in for the Dolphins, and now the Dolphins are able to take a 10-0 lead. So we just were able to wrap up the men's game and have an opportunity to speak to head basketball coach Tony Petosa. And, you know, I didn't really say anything why the head coach was on, but Tony, of course, a legendary coach, in my opinion, probably the best Division III coach in the country. This is a man that has won well over 300 games for the Dolphins, was a great player in his own right, and has been able to take a CSI Dolphin team and take them out to a 14-0 record. So we have 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining here in the first half, and the CSI Dolphins lead by a score of 12-8. So let's catch you up with a little bit of action here this afternoon. Samantha Flecker coming out big for the Dolphins. She's hit her first couple of shots, grabbed the rebound. She has 4 points for the Dolphins. Dolphins shooting 5 of 12 from the field, although they've missed all 3 of their 3-point shots for their 12 points. Hunter College, 4 of 10 from the field here. They've missed both of their 3-point opportunities. Arias leads them in scoring. She has 4 points, and the Dolphins lead by a score of 12-8 with 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining here in this first quarter, and the College of Staten Island leading by a score of 12-8. And, you know, as I see over my shoulder a couple of the men's basketball players sitting here, and they're hanging around during the second half. We might have some of them on the air for you and give you their thoughts on how this 2016-17 season is going. Hunter with the basketball, and they're going to get called for the travel, and that will turn the ball over to the Dolphins. As that time, I believe Arias got called for the travel. So it's Dolphin basketball. Cray on the floor with Passatoro, Flecker, Angelique Price, and Jackie Callie back for her second game for the Dolphins since returning from injury. Price with the basketball. Price feeding the ball out over to Cray. Cray now working the ball back up over to Passatoro. A beautiful feed inside to Price, and Angelique lays it up and in. So Passatoro picks up her second assist of the game. Price picks up her second basket, and the Dolphins pick up their biggest lead of the game. It's 6, 14-8. You with the basketball now for the Hawks. A lot of pressure applied there by Price. as we're getting near a 5-second violation, but you able to get rid of the basketball and feed the ball up over to Music. Music now getting the ball up over to Patterson, but the pass inside is going to be knocked away and stolen, and now we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball. The possession arrow points towards Hunter, so it'll be Hawk basketball. So I believe the shot clock may need to be reset. Shot clock is still at 30, and that's where it will remain. As Yu looks to inbound the basketball, she feeds it up over to Musek. Musek spinning in the lane now gets the ball back up over to Yu as she backs the ball out now. Yu feeding the ball up over to Arias, but she's going to have the ball stolen away by Passatoro, who feeds it ahead of the field to Price. Price driving down the lane, and she's going to get called for the offensive foul. Angelique thought that she might have gotten to the spot first, but the officials disagree, so Price will pick up the foul. That will be her first, the team's second, and the Hawks will inbound the basketball off of the fourth turnover of the day for the Dolphins, but now the Hawks turn it over. Dolphins can't hit the layup, and the Hawks get the rebound. Yu with the basketball. Yu now feeding it up over to Patterson. Patterson working the ball up inside to Musak, and that's going to be a foul on Price. So Price picks up 2 personals here with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter. She will have to check out of the game, and Nicole and Bessie will check in now for Hunter for the first time here, for the Dolphins for the first time here this afternoon. Patterson getting the ball off the inbound. Patterson pass goes up over to Arias. Now back to Patterson. She drives down the lane, and we're going to have a whistle as Callie tried to draw the offensive foul, but instead she'll pick up the blocking foul, and that will be Flecker's first and the 4th team foul on the Dolphins, and that will send Patterson to the free throw line now to shoot 2 for Hunter College. So Arias will go to the free throw line now. Ashley coming into today's game a 61% free throw shooter. She's 26 of 43 from the line. And her first goes around the rim and no good. That's the first free throw of the night for Hunter College, and they'll have one more upcoming. One more free throw for Patterson. Miller Place High School graduate, as she hits 1 of 2, and the Dolphin lead is down to 5. Callie with the basketball. Callie kicks it back up over to Mbessi. Now it's Passatoro. Passatoro feeding it inside to Callie. She misses the layup but draws the foul. Minute 48 seconds. Dolphins leading by 5, and now Callie will go to the free throw line for the Dolphins to shoot 2. Callie's first free throw goes up off the rim and no good. She'll have one more upcoming. The Dolphins coming in, shooting 64% from the free throw line as a team. Jackie just 6 of 17 from the line, though. So that's about 36%, and she misses them both. Rebound controlled by the Hawks as they have the basketball, trailing by 5 with a minute 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. Yu with the basketball. Yu gets it over to Valentin. Valentin now up over to Arias. Arias looking to work the ball in the corner, but losing possession of the ball will be Hunter as Adina Musak, the 5'11 freshman from Fort Hamilton, lost the handle, and off the turnover, it'll be Dolphin basketball. 7 turnovers for the Hawks now in the first quarter. The Dolphins have 4. Cray with the basketball. Now it's Flecker. Flecker bringing it out by the three-point line. Now it's Passatoro. Passatoro looking to feed the ball inside, but it'll be turned over. Dolphins turn the ball over for the 5th time today. Passatoro's second turnover, and it'll be Hunter College with the basketball, trailing by 5. Dolphins looking to double team in the backcourt, but Valentin able to get the ball up over to Patterson. Patterson feeding it inside. The layup by Musak is up, no good, and Mbessi is there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Now it's Callie, inside a minute remaining. Passatoro out by the three-point line. Long cross-court pass over to Callie in the corner, now to Flecker, Her long three-pointer is up, no good, but the Dolphins' leading rebounder grabs her own offensive rebound. Cray, Callie, now Passatoro. Passatoro catching, driving down the lane. Her shot's partially blocked, and now we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the backcourt. That will be on Mbesi. That will be the 15th foul on the Dolphins. So that will send Hunter to the free throw line. They'll have 2 free throws upcoming with 33.4 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and the Dolphins leading by a score of 14-9. So Patterson will go to the free throw line here to shoot 2 for the Hawks. Her first free throw is up and in. She'll have 1 more free throw upcoming as Hunter has cut the Dolphin lead down to 4. That's the second point of the game for Patterson. She's 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Make that 3 of 4 as Hunter has cut it to a 1-possession game, trailing by a score of 14-11. Cray with the basketball. Cray bringing the ball across the midcourt line. Cray guarded there by Valentin. 19 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Nice defensive job by the Hawks. Flecker now at the three-point line, guarded tightly by Arias. Flecker now working the ball in the corner, and Bessie jumper from the baseline is no good. A fight for the rebound. Callie able to grab the rebound, and somehow she gets called for the foul on the play. It looked like Callie was able to grab a lot of basketball on the play. Instead, Hunter's going to go back to the free throw line to shoot 2. As Anita Music, the 5'11 freshman, will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for the Hawks. Music, 13 of 27 from the free throw line. That's 48%. As that free throw is up and no good, she'll have 1 more upcoming. Joined us late, the men's basketball team winning a close one here this afternoon, 85-80. It was a back-and-forth game, a game that Hunter College basically led the entire first half. It was a seesaw game in the second half, but the Dolphins were ultimately able to prevail as Cray drives down the line and lane, and she'll draw the foul now with 1.1 seconds remaining. And now Victoria will go to the free throw line to shoot 2, looking to extend that Dolphin lead. It's 14-12 with just 1.1 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Cray's first free throw is up and in. Victoria 3 of 3 from the line here for the Dolphins, and they lead by 3, 15-12. As her second free throw is up and in, and Victoria, who struggled from the line this year, hits both free throws as that shot would not count if it had gone in, but the Dolphins will come out of this first quarter here with a 16-12 lead. So we're going to step aside, take a break. 1 quarter in the books. Dolphins leading Hunter by a score of 16-12 as you're watching doubleheader basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back. The CSI Dolphins lead after 1 quarter of play by a score of 16-12. Dolphins 6 of 17 shooting in that first quarter, 0 of 4 from the three-point line. Hunter College 4 of 11, 0 for 2 from the three-point line, so neither team has hit a three-pointer. Dolphins with the first possession here in the second quarter. The ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Hunter, so it'll remain Dolphin basketball with 19 seconds to shoot. Passatore able to retrieve the inbounds pass by Cray. Hunter coming out playing very good defense here this afternoon on both the men's and women's side as Passatore floats that one up against the rim. It's no good. The ball tipped around off the hands of Mbesi, and Hunter College comes away with the basketball as it's Lang. Lang driving the ball inside, and this time Callie draws the offensive foul. So Hunter College commits their 8th turnover, and it will be Dolphin basketball. 9:28 remaining here in the second quarter, and the Dolphins leading by a score of 16-12. Cray with the basketball. Cray driving down the lane and laying it up and in. So double duty here for Victoria Cray. She was in the swimming championships here earlier this afternoon. Now coming back, she has 6 points to lead the Dolphins in scoring, and the Dolphins have a 6-point lead, 18-12. The jumper by Patterson is up, no good, but she's able to grab the rebound and lay it up and in. 18-14 the score. That breaks a mini 4-0 run for the Dolphins, and now the Dolphins will turn the ball over, so it will be Hunter College basketball. Hunter bringing the ball up across the midcourt line now as the ball comes across to Lang, and the Hawks will set up offensively here, trailing by 4. Each team with a basket apiece. As that time Patterson caught the pass, even though she was looking the other way. Her short jumper goes halfway down and comes out. Flecker, a beautiful pass ahead of the field to Passatore, who lays it up and in. So Passatore gets her second basket of the game. She's now 2 of 6 from the field. She has 4 points, and the Dolphins open up a 6-point lead once again as they lead by a score of 20-14. 6-point lead matches the Dolphins' biggest lead of the game as Hunter brings the ball up now with 8 seconds to shoot as that bank shot is up off the rim. Passatore grabs the rebound and draws the foul. So that foul will be on Patterson. For Patterson, that will be her first personal, and Hunter picks up their second team foul here in the second quarter. Couple of substitutions here for the Hawks on the floor for the Dolphins now. Passatore and Bessie, Cray, Callie, along with Flecker. Cray with the basketball. Feeds it out over to Callie. Callie's long three-pointer is short, and the rebound's going to be grabbed there by Aponte, but her pass is going to be stolen away. And the Dolphins with the basketball now off the Hawk turnover. The layup by Passatore is no good, and this time Patterson is there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. 20-14 score. Dolphins leading here by 6. A beautiful feed inside to Patterson, but a beautiful play by Flecker, who's fouled in the backcourt. And now the Dolphins will get to inbound the basketball. The third team foul on Hunter here in the second quarter. That foul is going to be on Kalut for the senior. That's going to be her second and the team's third as Cray takes the ball down the lane and lays it up and in. Victoria Cray with 8 of the first Dolphin, 22 points, and the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game. It's 8 points, 22-14, 7-11 remaining in the first quarter as Arias with a strong block on Mbesi, and now we're going to have a whistle and a foul in the backcourt called on the Hawks. And that's going to be the third foul on Kalut. So she'll have to go to the bench. And we're going to have a whistle and a timeout. It'll be a full timeout. So we'll step aside and take a break. 7 minutes, 3 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Dolphins with the biggest lead of the game. It's 8 points, 22-14. You watch your women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Check.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999. One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
We're back here with 7 minutes and 3 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The Dolphins lead by a score of 22-14, and it's been an exciting day here at the Sports and Recreation Center if you haven't been here throughout. First, we had Tim Shanahan join us at halftime in the men's game, a game that the men were able to win by a score of 85-80 as they extend their winning streak to 11 and their undefeated streak in Kudiak Conference play to 14. And then head men's basketball coach, the legendary Tony Petosa, joining us here during the first quarter of the women's game. And the women have an 8-point lead, 22-14, as they throw the ball out of bounds. The women also with a 10-game winning streak. They only have one loss in the conference, but both Brooklyn College and Lehman College breathing down their throats. Both teams trailing the Dolphins by just a single game, and the Dolphins will have to play both of those teams. First, Brooklyn College on the road this Tuesday night, and then the Dolphins will wrap up their regular season as they will take on Lehman College here at the Sports and Recreation Center. These games with major implications for the Kudiak regular season championship and the Dolphins bye position. So big games coming up as the Hawks work the ball into the corner, and Patterson's jumper from the baseline is good. She now has 7, and that will bring the Hawks a little bit closer. Quay with the basketball. Quay's pass is going to be knocked out of bounds, but it'll remain Dolphin basketball as they have a 6-point lead now, 22-16, with 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Dolphins in the middle of an 8-4 run. Feed across court intended for Flecker. It's going to go out of bounds, but it will remain Dolphin basketball with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Cray looking to inbound the basketball. Cray now getting the ball out over to Passatoro. As Passatoro bringing the ball across, she nearly loses the handle, but now is able to get it over to Flecker. Flecker looking to drive inside. She kicks the ball out to Callie, and Callie's three-pointer is good. Big play that time as Callie hits the three-pointer off of the assist from Samantha Flecker, and the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game now, 25-16. Music with the basketball. Music hands off to Patterson. Patterson, a beautiful feed inside to Arias, who lays it up and in. Nice play that time by the Hawks to come right back as that shot's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it will remain Dolphin basketball with 5:25 remaining here in the first half, 25 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Cray to inbound the basketball, gets it up over to Callie. Callie's jumper from the free throw line extended is up, no good. A fight for possession. It'll be a jump ball, but this time the possession arrow will go to Hunter College. Hunter will inbound the basketball now. 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the second quarter, and the Dolphins lead by 7 as Cray will pick up the foul in the backcourt as that time her feet kind of got tangled up a little bit on the play with Aponte, and Cray will pick up the foul. That will be her first and the first team foul for the Dolphins here in the second quarter. Aponte with the basketball now. Aponte's pass goes up over to Patterson. Patterson closely guarded, and now Callie able to steal the basketball, and Patterson will draw the foul, and that's going to be a big foul against the Hawks because that's going to be the second foul on Patterson, and that's also going to be the 15th foul on Hunter College. So that means the Dolphins will have 2 free throws for every Hunter team foul here for the remainder of this first half. Callie's first free throw is up and in. Jackie now 2 of 3 from the line, and she's got 5. One more free throw. That's going to be short, and that will be a free throw violation. So it will be Hunter College basketball, trailing by 6, 26-18. It's been a fits and starts kind of game. Good defensive play that time by Mbesi, but now Hunter able to break the press and come forward 3-1. A lot of contact on the inside. Nothing called on the play, and it's going to be a jump ball. And this time the possession arrow will go to the Dolphins, as this game is kind of grinded now to a little bit of a fits and starts. As now the Dolphins will get to inbound the basketball. Hunter has turned the ball over 10 times. The Dolphins have turned it over 7. And now the Dolphins with the basketball as Cray drives down the lane and lays it up and in. And Cray's been an offensive force for the Dolphins, as she now has 10 of the Dolphins' 28 points. As Passatoro puts up the long three-pointer. That bounces around twice. No good. And the rebound grab by Hunter, trailing by 10. And we're going to have another turnover by the Hawks, as this time it's going to be Flecker drawing the foul. That foul is going to be on Arias, and that's going to be her first, and the Dolphins will inbound the basketball. Cray driving it down the lane, and she draws the foul as she was smashed down to the floor on the play. And it looks like Music got a little shaken up for Hunter. And that foul is actually going to get called on Patterson, and Patterson has probably been one of the better offensive players on the Hawks here this afternoon. So we're going to step aside and take a break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Hunter trailing the Dolphins 28-18. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Check.
We are GetSchooled.com.
You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free,
Handsome, I think we're breathtaking.
and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Pick a college, man. You and us. Go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together. Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
We're back here with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in this second quarter. The Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game. It's 10 points as the Dolphins, Victoria Cray goes to the free throw line and she misses the first, as the Dolphins on the middle of a 10-4 run to open up their biggest lead of the game. It's 10 points. Cray's second free throw is up and no good, so Victoria misses the pair. And Hunter now with the basketball, trailing by 10. Whistle and a foul called on the outside, and that's going to be on the Dolphins. As that's going to be a blocking foul on Passatoro. That will be the first foul for Christina, the second team foul for the Dolphins, as this game continues to grind down to a halt as Passatoro picks up the foul. Lang with the basketball. Lang feeding the ball up over to Yusko, who checked into the game, another freshman player for these Hunter Hawks. Now Lang. Lang's long jumper is good over Flecker. Nice shot that time by Lang, and that cuts the Dolphin lead down to 8. Cray now over to Callie. Callie feeding it inside to Passatoro. Her floater in the lane is up, no good, and the rebound is controlled now by Yu. Cross-court pass over to Lang. Lang feeds it inside to Arias, and she lays it up and in, and just like that, Hunter cut the Dolphin 10-point lead down to 6. Flecker, though, comes right back and lays it up and in. Flecker with her third basket of the game. She has 6, and the Dolphins open up the lead back to 8 once again. Aponte with the basketball. Now you feeding it up over to Lang. Lang back now to Aponte. Aponte puts up the long jumper. That's going to be no good, but a whistle and another foul on the play. So Cray will pick up her second personal. And Jade Aponte will go to the free throw line here to shoot 2. Aponte a 74% free throw shooter, and she hits the first. One more free throw coming up here for Aponte as her second free throw is up and in. And it's a 6-point game once again as Hunter continuing to hang with the Dolphins here in the first half. Callie puts up the open three-pointer and buries it. Callie with both three-pointers for the Dolphins. She has 7, and that opens the Dolphin lead back up to 9. Lang with the basketball. Lang looking to feed it inside, that time to Musco, but Musco took a step before putting the ball on the floor, and she gets called for the traveling violation as Nahada Bracic will check into the game for the first time, and she'll replace Jackie Callie. Good minutes for Callie for the Dolphins as she leaves with 7 points on 2 of 4 shooting from the field. Mbesi with the basketball. And now Mbesi gets called for the travel. So Hunter with 13 turnovers. The Dolphins now with 8. And Hunter will have the basketball trailing by 9 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining till halftime. Arias sets the pick. Now it's you with the basketball. You feeding it out to Lang. Lang with the open three-pointer. That's up no good. A fight for the rebound. And Passatoro able to come away with the ball now for the Dolphins. Passatoro dribbling through 3. Hunter College Hawks as she drives hard down the line and she's hammering in the lane and draws the foul. Quiet half so far for Passatoro. She has just 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 turnovers, but now she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for the Dolphins. Christina's first free throw is up and in. Passatoro, a 73% three-point free throw shooter coming into the game, and that'll go up to about 75% as she hits both and gives the Dolphins their biggest lead of the game, now 11, 35-24. Dolphins outscoring Hunter College 19-12 so far here in the second quarter as Arias thought about the long jumper, now works it up over to Lang. Lang now feeding the ball inside now as that's Yusko with the basketball. Now Lang in the open men's three-pointer is up no good. A fight for the rebound. It's going to be knocked around, and Hunter College will get a second chance opportunity. Now the jumper is up no good. This time Passatoro is there to grab her third rebound, and she's going to draw the personal foul, and she's going to go right back to the free throw line for the Dolphins. Dolphins already have their biggest lead of the game. It's 11 points. As Passatoro will go to the line, she already has 6 points for the Dolphins, as the Dolphins now in the middle of a 5-0 run, but Passatoro misses the first. Passatoro's second free throw is up, no good, so the Dolphins hurting themselves from the free throw line, and then they commit the loose ball foul in the backcourt. And that's a big foul as Passatoro picks up her second foul. The Dolphins just 7 of 14 from the line here in the first half. They lead by 11, but it could be more. Lang. Now you putting up the long three-pointer. That's no good. And this time Mbesi up high to grab her second rebound of the afternoon. Cray, a bounce pass nearly thrown away, but Passatoro able to retrieve as we're inside a minute 20 remaining here in the first half. And Passatoro now drives it down the lane and lays it up and in. Christina scored the last 4 points for the Dolphins. She now has 8. And the Dolphins open up a 13-point lead, 37-24. Hunter averaging just under 62 points a game, but able to come back there and get a big basket to cut the Dolphin lead down to 11 inside of 1 minute remaining here in this second quarter. And Bessie. Bounce pass goes up over to Flecker. And Flecker nearly traveled before she put the ball on the floor, and this time she does travel. So the Dolphins will turn the ball over for the 9th time here in the first half. And Hunter College with an opportunity to cut in that Dolphin lead before halftime. Lang with the basketball. Lang now up over to Arias, and Arias' free throw jumper is good. Big basket for Arias, 10 points on 5 of 5 shooting. As we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul called on Victoria Cray, so a big turnaround there. That could have been a 13-point lead for the Dolphins. Instead, it will be an offensive foul called, and now it's going to be a 9-point Dolphin lead as Hunter with the basketball. The shot clock has been turned off. Yu with the basketball. Yu puts up the long three-pointer. That's going to be up and no good, and we're going to have a whistle and another foul called on the play. So 2 tough fouls called on the Dolphins down the stretch. First, an offensive foul called on the Dolphins that eliminated a basket and an opportunity at a 3-point play, and now a 3-point free throw opportunity for Ashley Yu. So the Dolphins could have jumped out to an 11-point lead. Instead, it's down to 8, and still 2 more free throws upcoming here for the Hawks as Yu misses the second, and she'll have 1 more upcoming with 12.9 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And her third free throw is up and in, so Hunter able to take advantage and hit 2 of 3 free throws, and now the Dolphins lead by 7. And now Pasatoro turns the basketball over. 11 turnovers for the Dolphins as they have fallen apart a little bit here in the last minute of play, as they've allowed Hunter to score 6 points here in the last 55 seconds. Hunter was down 13 points inside a minute remaining, and they have an opportunity to cut this lead down to 5 as Lang puts up the three-pointer. That's going to be no good, and we're going to have a whistle, and that should be a foul, and that should lead to free throws here for the Dolphins as we head into halftime. So that foul is going to be called on Arias. That's a big foul because that's going to be her second, a terrible foul. That time for Hunter College, as that's going to give the Dolphins an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws and break a little bit of this Hunter College momentum going into halftime, as that first free throw by Flecker is up and no good, as the Dolphins struggles from the free throw line continue here in the first half, as they're now under 50% from the free throw line, and that will take them back to 50% with 0.3 of a second remaining, and that's going to do it. We're at halftime. The Dolphins with an 8-point lead, 38-30. They led by 13 points with inside a minute remaining here in this first half, but Hunter College able to score down the stretch and make it an 8-point game, 38-30. So we're at halftime. We're going to step aside and take a break here. The Dolphins lead by a score of 38-30, and we'll be back to bring you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half as you're watching women's basketball coverage right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Emergency plan today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing will take you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Na 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 na. I love you so. I love you. I love you. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
A full life measured in seats starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
Practice makes perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably put the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom,
don't worry. 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get in,
keep Hunter College in the game as they go into halftime trailing by 8 points. Hunter able to use a 6-1 run to close out that first half in the final minute, turning around a 13-point Dolphin deficit and able to cut it down to 8 points. The Dolphins fortunate as they were able to get a free throw at the end of the first half to close off that 6-1 run by Hunter College. So the Dolphins lead by 8 points as we head into the second half here this afternoon. For those of you that might have joined us late, the men's team won earlier this afternoon as they go undefeated, remaining undefeated in CUNYAC play with a 14-0 record. 11 wins overall as they were able to defeat Hunter by a final score of 85-80. Chatino led the Dolphins with 25 points in that game, 11 rebounds. Kevon Murphy also finishing over 20 with over 20 points, 23 points, 15 rebounds. Baum and Brocic both finishing in double digits for the Dolphins. It wasn't the Dolphins' strongest game of the afternoon, but they did enough to win as they outscored Hunter College 48-40 in that second half, and they maintained their unbeaten streak for the men's team. 2 games remaining. It'll be Brooklyn College this Tuesday night at Brooklyn, and then the Dolphins will complete the regular season this Friday night here at the Sports and Recreation Center against Lehman College. For the women's team, the women still in a tough battle here this afternoon against Hunter College, leading 38-30. They have just a 1-game lead in the CUNYAC Conference over both Lehman and Brooklyn College. The Dolphins have defeated both of those teams this year, but they will have to play both of them here in the last week of the season. Brooklyn College will be Tuesday night at 5:30 on the road, and then the regular season finale here against Lehman this Friday night at 5:30. We will have both Lehman College games for you right here on. Their lead is down to 8 once again. Cray with the basketball, nearly losing possession as Hunter swarming defense, giving Cray all kinds of trouble, and now it's Passatoro with the basketball for the Dolphins. Passatoro, crossover dribble up over to Perone. Her short jumper is up, no good. Cray able to grab the rebound, though, for the Dolphins. Now Flecker. Flecker working her way inside, but once again, Hunter aggressively playing defense. The Dolphins very fortunate to draw the foul on the play. That foul is on Arias, and that's a big foul. That's going to be her third personal, and she's going to have to go to the bench, and she's really been the best player on the floor here for the Hawks this afternoon. Flecker getting the ball inside. Now bounce pass goes up over to Cray. Hunter playing good defense here in the third quarter. Cray over to Flecker. Flecker's long three-pointer is good. Flecker 1 for 2 from the three-point line. She's now in double digits with 12, and the Dolphins' lead is up to 11 once again as Lang brings the ball across the midcourt line. Hunter now feeding the ball inside, but we're going to have a travel before the shot. Dolphins fortunate as that time Kalut took the ball to the basket, but got called for the travel first. So Hunter College now commits their 14th turnover of the afternoon as Passatoro puts up the three-pointer and buries it. And you're only going to keep Passatoro quiet from the three-point line for so long. She leads the nation in made three-pointers for Division III women's basketball players. She hits her first of the game. She now has 13, and the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game. It's 14 as the Dolphins look to fast break off of the miss. Passatoro feeds it ahead to Flecker, and Flecker draws the foul. The foul is going to be called on Aponte. Aponte, the leading scorer for the Hawks, has been quiet today. She just has 4 points, and now the Dolphins have the basketball and a 14-point lead. Passatoro Now it's Flecker with the basketball. Flecker feeding the ball out over back to Passatoro as the Dolphins look to run shot clock down, and Passatoro able to work her way inside and lay it up and in. 5 points in a row for Passatoro, and the Dolphins have opened up their biggest lead of the game. It's 16, 52-36. Lang trying to use the Kalut pick, and now she feeds it back to Patterson. Patterson misses the shot but draws the foul. As for the second time this quarter, Peronis stepped over but has been just about a step or so late and has picked up the personal foul, and this time it'll be Patterson to go back to the free throw line for the Hawks. Patterson scored 7 points early for Hunter, had to go to the bench with 3 personal fouls, and now she's going back to the free throw line here to shoot 2, and she hits the first, and that cuts the Dolphin lead back down to 15. Dolphins have an 8-0 run broken up. They were also on a 14-4 run before Patterson hits that first free throw. She'll have one more upcoming, and she hits them both, and that cuts the Dolphin lead back down to 14. As Hunter looking to stay in contact with the Dolphins here in this third quarter. Cray, beautiful move inside. She gets pinballed off a couple of Hawk players, and one of those players will pick up the foul. So we're looking over. The official has not signaled the Hunter College player that got called for the foul. Cray bounced off a couple of players inside, and the foul is going to end up being called on Selena Lim. So Lim is going to pick up her third personal, third team foul, and now Cray will go to the line to shoot 2, where she's 4 of 6, but she's now missed her last 3 in a row after hitting her first 4. Dolphins now under 50% from the line, just 8 of 17. And Cray will have one more free throw upcoming, and she splits the pair, and the Dolphins open their lead back to 15 once again inside of 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. So the Dolphins have been able to open up the lead, but they have not been able to put Hunter College away, as Hunter doing a nice job staying in the game here at the Sports and Recreation Center, as Ashley Yu puts up the three-pointer. That's no good, and this time it's Victoria Cray to control the rebound. Cray 1-on-3. She drives down the lane, lays it up and in, but gets called for the offensive foul. I thought that was a tough foul call that time on Cray, but the official didn't hesitate. And for Victoria, that's going to be her 4th personal, and I would think she would come out of the game. Her last 2 fouls, both offensive fouls, both times she made the shot, and both times she got called for the offensive foul as Cray tried to steal that ball, but she's unable to maintain and keep it in bounds. So it'll be Hunter College basketball once again with 26 seconds on the shot clock, 4 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Christina Passatoro now leading the Dolphins with 15 points. And the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game. It's 15, 53-38. Arias with the basketball. Arias now feeds it out over to Yu. Yu guarded out on the outside by Callie. Yu tries to use her speed, and she's able to get the ball to the basket and lay it up and in. Hunter staying in touch with the Dolphins now, trailing by 13 inside of 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Passatoro, a beautiful feed inside to Price, and a whistle, and for the second consecutive time, an offensive foul called on the Dolphins. Head coach Tim Shanahan doesn't like either call, but the Dolphins with their second consecutive turnover off an offensive foul, and Hunter College trailing by 13 now with the basketball. Yu with the basketball. Yu feeding the ball out over to Arias. Arias now to Patterson. Patterson back over to Yu. Yu outside at the three-point line now feeds it up over to Patterson. Patterson works the ball back up over to Yu, but this time Yu is going to get called for the travel, and Hunter College with a big turnover, their second turnover of the third quarter, And it'll be Dolphin basketball now with 3:34 remaining. Fleca, Passatoro, and Bessie, Callie out on the floor, along with Angelique Price. Passatoro, crossover dribble. Now it's Fleca. Fleca putting up the long three-pointer. It's no good, but she's able to grab the rebound, feed it back to Passatoro. Her three-pointer is no good, and the Dolphins control the offensive rebound once again. So a couple of misses by the Dolphins on three-pointers, and now Passatoro's going to draw the foul. That foul is going to be on Phoebe Valentin. That's going to be the third foul on her, the team's fourth. So the Dolphins will get to inbound as they lob the ball inside, looking for Fleca, but the Dolphins just throw the ball away and turn it over. So it will be Hunter College basketball, with the Dolphins holding a 13-point lead, 53-40, with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Valentin with the basketball. Passatoro waiting to pick her up as she approaches the three-point line. Now it's Arias. Arias looking to work against Callie, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul away from the ball, and it's going to be called on the Dolphins. I'm not sure who that's going to be on. It's going to be on Price, and now Price has 4 fouls for the Dolphins as well. So Price with 4, Cray with 4. Dolphins in major foul trouble. 2 of their starters with 4 personals, and Hunter College has cut the Dolphin lead down to 12. Second free throw is up and in. 53-42. Dolphins by 11. They've led by as many as 15. Passatoro nearly loses possession, and we're going to have a whistle and a timeout called by head coach Tim Shanahan. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it right here with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in this third quarter, and the Dolphins leading by a score of 53-42. And you know, for the Dolphins here in the second half, they've been able to get their lead up to as many as 16, but Hunter not letting the Dolphins pull away. Hunter has now scored 6 out of the last 7 points after the Dolphins had scored 8 in a row. So the Dolphins open their lead back up to 16, but Hunter draws the game back to 11 as we have 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. Dolphins leading by a score of 53-42. Dolphins coming back out with the same 5 on the floor, so Price will remain on the floor with 4 personal fouls and 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, as we have a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a wet spot on the floor as the Dolphins look to maintain their 1-game lead in first place with just a few games remaining. Fleca working her way inside. That shot is up, no good, but she's able to come away with the ball for the Dolphins. Hunter playing aggressive defense once again now. 7 seconds to shoot. But Fleck is able to drive inside, but she misses the open layup. And Yu comes away with the rebound for the Dolphins, and the Hawks trailing by just 11. Floater in the lane, that time is up and in, and this time we're going to have a no basket and an offensive foul. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, I didn't see that call at all coming. Instead, it's going to be a whistle and an offensive foul called on the Hawks. And that's going to be on Valentin, and that's going to be her 4th. And that's a big turnaround because that jumper would have made it a 9-point game. Price back up over to Fleca. Her long three-pointer is deflected, but Price comes away with the rebound. The shot clock reset, so we're going to have a whistle as they're going to have to reset the shot clock now with 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Hunter College able to knock 7 points off of a 16-point Dolphin lead. I should say 5 points. It's an 11-point game as the Dolphins will inbound the basketball with 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. So the Dolphins will inbound the basketball now with 20 seconds on the shot clock as they get it inside to Flecker. She misses the shot but draws the foul. So the foul will be called on Ashley Yu. Flecker will go to the free throw line here to shoot 2. The Dolphins just 9 of 18 from the line here this afternoon, and that one's not even close. As the Dolphins now 9 of 19 from the free throw line, and that's been something that's helped keep Hunter in the game here. One more free throw upcoming here for Flecker. Flecker usually a very good free throw shooter, just 1 of 3. Make that 1 of 4 as the Dolphins miss the pair, and Hunter with the basketball trailing by 11. Lang with the basketball. They work the ball in the corner. The long three-pointer is up. No good. They fight for the rebound, and Patterson able to come away with the ball for the Hawks. Ball worked around inside. Patterson's open jumper. That's no good. And this time Flecker grabs the rebound for the Dolphins. Flecker feeding it up over to Callie. Now the Dolphins finally able to get the ball into the hands of Passatoro. Passatoro crossover dribble, and her running one-hander in the lane is good. Passatoro now leading all scorers with 17, as we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins with 1 minute and 24 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Hunter doing a good job staying in the game, trailing 55-42. And now Selena Lim will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Lim, a 70% free throw shooter for the Hawks, and she hits the first. Hunter 14 of 18 from the line. The Dolphins 9 of 20. And Lim's second free throw is good, and the Hunter lead, or Hunter trails now by 11 with 1 minute 20 remaining here in the third quarter. Passatoro over to Callie. Callie's three-pointer is good. Jackie Callie now has 10 points, including 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Big basket for the Dolphins as that opens their lead back to 14. Arias over to Lang. Lang working the ball. Now the ball goes in the corner to Patterson, and we're going to have a whistle and a blocking foul called on Callie. That was a good call that time as Callie stuck a leg out on the play and gets called for her second personal foul. Christine Patterson to the line. She's a 56% free throw shooter for Hunter. First free throw is up and in. She has one more upcoming. But Hunter doing a nice job staying in contact with the Dolphins. Dolphins have had a couple of opportunities maybe to extend their lead a little bit further. They haven't been able to get it up over 16, and they nearly turned the ball over, but a nice play by Passatoro for the Dolphins inside of 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter. Passatoro with the basketball now. She angles the ball out. Passatoro now backing the ball out with 10 seconds to shoot. Now it's Flecker. Flecker working her way inside. We have a whistle and an offensive foul called. Boy, oh boy, I don't know about that one. So the Dolphins get called for their third offensive foul as it looked like Flecker was driving in the lane. And she gets called for the offensive foul. Now 4 fouls apiece for Flecker, Price, and Cray. 3 of the 4 Dolphin starters with 4 personals with 33.5 seconds remaining here in the quarter. And the Dolphins lead just 13. And the Dolphins potentially could foul out 3 of their starters with just 1 additional personal foul here. As driving down the lane and laying it up and in is Selena Lim, and it's an 11-point game as the shot clock is now off. Passatoro with the basketball now for the Dolphins. Passatoro driving her way inside. Her layup is up, no good, and Hunter with another offensive possession now with inside a second remaining. That floater is up and in, and it counts. As once again the Dolphins fail to close out the third quarter as they've allowed Hunter College to come right back into the game as Hunter scores the last 5 points in the quarter, and now there'll be a foul called on the Dolphins with one shot for Aponte, and Hunter just trailing by 9. So we're going to go into the fourth quarter. Hunter cutting this inside of double digits as the Dolphins get outscored in the final minute here with just 0.4 of a second remaining, just like they did in the first half. They failed to close out the third quarter as Hunter scores the last 6 points here in the final minute. The Dolphins led by 14 points heading into this final minute, but the Dolphins fail to close the quarter, and they will go into the fourth quarter with 3 of their starters with 4 personal fouls. So we're 3 quarters complete here at the Sports and Recreation Center with the score, Dolphins 58, Hunter College 50. You're watching women's college basketball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
You tell me to stay away from drugs, to always buckle my seatbelt, and to follow the swimming rules. You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet, shoebox, under the bed, where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
We're back, and we're heading into the fourth quarter. The Dolphins opened up a 14-point lead, 58-44, with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. But those were the last points of the quarter the Dolphins would score as Hunter College scores the final 6 points here in the third quarter, and they trail going into the fourth quarter by just 8 points, 58-50, and they will have the basketball here to start the fourth quarter. And in addition to that, the Dolphins in major foul trouble as 3 of their starters have 4 personal fouls. Angelique Price, Victoria Cray, and Samantha Flecker, all with 4 personals. All 3 players picked up their 4th personals on offensive fouls in the third quarter. So Hunter College in possession of the basketball here as we start this fourth quarter. They walk the ball inside to Lang, and her floater is up and in. Hunter College now on an 8-0 run, and the Dolphin lead is down to 6. Callie with the basketball. Now feeds the ball up over to Passatoro. We mentioned the Dolphins coming into today's game with a 1-game lead in the CUNYAC Conference and huge games remaining against both Brooklyn College and Lehman College later in the week. And Dolphins certainly not playing the kind of basketball that they were hoping to play here through 3 quarters this afternoon, as they've let Hunter College come right back into this game and make it a 6-point game. As now Passatoro misses a layup. The Dolphins' cold shooting continues here as they miss their first shot in the fourth quarter as the ball is fed inside, and we're going to have a whistle and another foul called on the play as the Dolphins are accumulating personal fouls. That's their 22nd personal of the game, and that foul is going to be on Passatoro. And now Passatoro has 3 fouls for the Dolphins. So a lot of crooked numbers and fouls here for the Dolphins. As that time, Kalut goes to the free throw line, and she misses the first. She had an opportunity to cut this Dolphin lead all the way down to 5, and she still will have 1 more free throw. Wadley, a 40% shooter coming into today's game, and she misses both. And the rebound now controlled by Callie. Callie gets the ball up over to Passatoro, and now we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Hunter College. And that's Lon Long, and that's going to be her second personal. And it's going to be the Dolphins to inbound the basketball now from underneath their basket. 1 minute in to this fourth quarter. Hunter in the middle of an 8-0 run that cut the Dolphin lead from 14 down to 6. And now we're going to have a whistle and another foul called on the play. 4 fouls through 1 minute of play here in this fourth quarter. Boy, you'd like to let the officials let these players play as it's Price with the basketball. Bounce pass goes up over to Cray. Cray on the floor with 4 personal fouls for the Dolphins. Now Cray loses possession of the turnover, and here comes Aponte driving down the lane. Her shot's going to be knocked out of bounds, but it will remain Hunter College basketball as the Dolphins continue to struggle offensively. They've been stuck at 58 for about 2.5 minutes now. As we have a whistle and a Hunter College player a little shaken up on the play. So Aponte a little shaken up on the play. We're going to have a timeout on the floor. So why don't we step aside to take a break here with 8 minutes and 44 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Dolphins lead 58-52. We'll step aside. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules. You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer? Here in the garage.
Closet, shoebox, under the bed, where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
We're back here with 8:44 remaining. The Dolphins unable to score in the last 2.5 minutes, but now come away with the basketball off the Hunter turnover. Pass to Toro. Back out over to Cray. Cray on the floor with 4 personals, and now she hands it off to Passatoro. Christina out on the floor with 3. Passatoro, 13 seconds remaining on the shot clock here for the Dolphins. Passatoro back up over to Callie. Callie's long three-pointer is up, no good. That ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and once again, it'll be Hunter College basketball as the Dolphins continue to struggle. They've yet to score here in this fourth quarter. Hunter in the middle of an 8-0 run and an 11-3 run to turn around a 14-point Dolphin lead and knock it down to 6 with 8:12 remaining here in the fourth quarter. You with the basketball. You feeding it out over to Lang. Lang looking to drive it in. And now it's Lim with the basketball. Lim drives down the lane. Her shot is up, no good, but the Dolphins can't control the rebound. And Hunter now will have a second chance opportunity. You with the basketball now. 18 seconds remaining on the shot clock. You looking to work against Flecker. Flecker with 4 fouls for the Dolphins as well. Now it's Lang with the basketball. Lang driving her way inside. She fields it off to Kalud, and this time it's going to be Kalud who gets called for the offensive foul, and she'll be the first player to foul out of the game, as that's going to be her first personal, as that's the 4th team foul already for the Hawks with 7:34 still remaining here in the fourth quarter. And the Dolphins with the basketball now with a 6-point lead. The Dolphins have not scored for the last 3.5 minutes in the third and fourth quarters as Price drives down the lane. Her shot is up way off, and it's Arias controlling the rebound for the Dolphins. as they continue to struggle here in the fourth quarter. The layup is up no good, and the rebound is going to be grabbed by Passatoro, and a whistle and another foul called on the play. And that's going to be on Lang. That's going to be her third personal, and now Hunter will be over the limit with 7 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter as the fouls continue here at the Sports and Recreation Center. As Passatoro finally breaks that drought for the Dolphins and picks up our 18th point of the game. And Aponte able to come back into the game as Passatoro hits a pair of free throws. 2 big points for the Dolphins as they open their lead back up to 8. Aponte with the basketball now for the Hawks. Gets the ball up over to Lang. 7 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter, and the Dolphins holding on to an 8-point lead. Aponte with the basketball. Aponte swinging the ball inside. It gets it into Muzak, who somehow doesn't travel, and lays it up and in. And now another turnover for the Dolphins as they get called for the travel. 18 turnovers for the Dolphins here this afternoon, and that's going to give Hunter College the basketball. The Dolphins averaging 16 turnovers a game, so they've already committed 2 more than that. And once again, Hunter College with the ball down just 6 points. Ball worked out. Lang, her open three-pointer is good, and just like that, it's a 3-point game, 60-57. As the Dolphins struggle with their play here as Price puts up that long jumper. That's no good. And the Dolphins have gone ice cold from the field here. 8 of 22 here in the second half. Lang's long three-pointer is good, and we're going to have a whistle. It's going to be a long 2-pointer, and that's going to make it a 1-point game now, 60-59. The Dolphins with a 14-point lead with just over a minute remaining have given away all but a single point of it. Callie with the basketball. 6:05 remaining in the game. The Dolphins with a 1-point lead. Dolphins with 2 points here in this fourth quarter. Callie putting up the long three-pointer. That's way off, but she's able to grab her own offensive rebound, but not able to maintain possession. And now we're going to have a whistle and a timeout called by the Dolphins, as the Dolphins have been outscored 9-2 here in the fourth quarter. Hawks on a 15-2 run over the last nearly 7 minutes of play, and they've erased a 14-point Dolphin deficit and cut their Dolphin lead down to 1. And, you know, the Dolphins, who have 2 tough games coming up this week against Brooklyn and Lehman College, really need to pick up their play a little bit here in this fourth quarter, as the Dolphins have struggled from the field. They've struggled from the free throw line. They've hit just 11 of 22 from the line here this afternoon. They're just 8 of 23 in shooting here in this second half, and they've given away all but one of a lead that has been as many as 16 here in this fourth quarter. Passatoro with the basketball. Passatoro win on the inside, and we're going to have a whistle and another turnover for the Dolphins as they fail to get the ball up to the basket. And now Hunter College with the basketball and an opportunity to take their first lead since very early in this game. Last time Hunter led in this game was by a score of 4-2. The Dolphins have gone to take a lead of as high as 16 points, but just 2 points here for the Dolphins, as we're going to have a whistle, and that one's going to get waved off for the offensive foul. So Hunter College was that close to taking their first lead since they led by a score of 4-2, as the Dolphins' offensive woes continue here over the last 6.5 minutes. The Dolphins with just 2 points and a 1-point lead. Callie with the basketball now feeds the ball out over to Passatoro. Dolphins have 3 players out on the floor now with 4 personal fouls and no flow to their offensive game. Pesatoro looking to work her way inside. She feeds it inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Hunter College. And again, a lot of fouls being called out on the floor, and the Dolphins will go to the free throw line once again, where they've just been 11 of 22 here. Flecker will go to the line. She's been 1 of 4 from the free throw line, and that first one is up and in. And the Dolphins finally get their third point here in the fourth quarter. Flecker's second free throw is up and in, so she hits a pair for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins open up a 3-point lead midway through the fourth quarter. Lang with the basketball. Lang working against Price, and she's able to drive it right to the basket and lay it up and in. 62-61. This is a Hawk College team that's averaged just 61 points a game, and Dolphins turn the ball over once again as we're going to have a whistle and a double dribble on the play, as Lang doesn't think so, and she's wagging her finger at the official, but it will be Dolphin basketball off the Hunter turnover. The Dolphins have turned the ball over 19 times, and that's the 20th turnover for the Hawks, who've had a couple of opportunities to regain the lead, and now Arias is going to get called for the foul, I do believe. It will be, and that will be her fourth. So now players on both teams with 4 personal fouls, and Flecker will go to the free throw line. Another couple of big free throws upcoming here for the Dolphins. Flecker's first is up and in, so she's hit her last 3. She now has 15, and the Dolphins have a 2-point lead with 4 minutes and 31 seconds remaining here in the second half. 4 in a row, 4 big ones for Flecker, and the Dolphins open their lead back up to 3. Lim with the basketball. Lim feeding it up over to Music. Music able to bank it up and in as Hunter starting to play very well offensively, and they've cut the Dolphin lead down to 1 once again as Cray is going to draw the foul, whistle after whistle, against the Hawks here in the second half. And now it's going to be Lang picking up her 4th personal. She has 16 points here for Hunter College, as Hunter picking up a lot of fouls, and Cray will go to the free throw line for the Dolphins as Cray's first is up and in. So the Dolphins, who had struggled with their free throws, have now hit their last 5, and they now lead 65-63. Cray's second free throw is up, no good, and Music able to grab the rebound. And the Hawks have the basketball, trailing by 2 as we approach 4 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Music with the basketball. Music picks up her dribble. Now it's Lang. Lang with space. Her open jumper is up, no good. And this time Pesatoro there to grab the rebound. Pesatoro feeding it ahead to Price, and we're going to have a whistle and a traveling violation called on Angelique Price, as Price was hit from behind on the play and gets called for the travel. 2-point lead with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining as Dolphins coming out, struggling offensively and allowing Hunter College to get themselves right back in the game now, trailing by 2. Lim with the basketball. Lim looking to work against Pesatoro, but her shot's going to be no good. And here comes Pesatoro looking to run for the Dolphins. Pesatoro's floater in the lane is up and in, and she draws the foul. Christina Pesatoro now in double digits for scores over 20 points for the 18th consecutive game. She now has 21 as Pesatoro's free throw is up and no good, but the Dolphins able to grab a big offensive rebound, and they'll now have a fresh 30-second clock along with a 4-point lead. Pesatoro with the basketball out by the 3-point line. Pesatoro now lobbing the ball out over to Flecker. Flecker gets the ball back up over to Pesatoro as the Dolphins look to run the shot clock down inside of 3 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. They feed the ball inside to Price, who misses the shot but draws the foul. That foul is going to be called on Anita Musak for the freshman from Fort Hamilton. That'll be her fourth. Angelique Price will go to the line to shoot 2. It'll be the first free throws of the night for Angelique. Her first free throw rolls around the rim and in. A big free throw for the Dolphins as they've really improved on their free throw shooting here in the latter stages of the fourth quarter. And they've used that to open their lead now back up to 6 points, 69-63, as the Dolphins look to press here. 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. The pass now goes up over to Lang. Lang's floater in the lane, rolls around the rim and in. Big basket there for Hunter College to break that Dolphin run and make it a 4-point lead as the Dolphins run the ball across the midcourt line. Cray with the basketball at a 4-point lead for the Dolphins as they have 18 seconds on the shot clock. Flecker now with the basketball. Flecker getting the ball back up over to Passatoro as the Dolphins work it down to within 10, and Passatoro lays it up and in. Another big basket for Passatoro. She now has 23, and the Dolphin lead is back up to 6 as they look to press in the backcourt. Aponte with the basketball now. Aponte, the long pass comes up over to Lim. Lim works it in the corner to Musak, but she gets called for the travel. A huge turnover now for the Hawks. That's going to be their 21st, and that's going to give the Dolphins a 6-point lead with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. And the Dolphins with the basketball, it's going to be a 30-second timeout. So we're going to keep it right here. This has been a game that you felt that the Dolphins had pulled away with both a minute remaining in the second quarter and a minute remaining in the third quarter. But both times, Hunter College was able to do a very nice job fighting and clawing their way back into the game. And they've been able to come back all the way in this game against a CSI Dolphin team that has won 11 in a row. They've been able to cut the Dolphin lead down to 1 here in the second half on 3 separate occasions, and they had an opportunity to take the lead on a couple of occasions, and the Dolphins very fortunate as Hunter actually did take the lead but got called for an offensive foul, and then the Dolphins started to hit their free throws here down the stretch, and they have a 6-point lead now inside of 2 minutes remaining, and with a basket here, they could really put the Hawks behind the 8 ball with a minute 50 seconds remaining here in the second half. Cray with the basketball. Cray working the ball in the corner. The long three-pointer by Flecker is no good, but a huge offensive rebound for the Dolphins and a fresh 30-second shot clock, and the Dolphins already with a 2-possession lead and a minute 30 now remaining in the game. Cray with the basketball. Cray getting the ball out over to Flecker. Flecker working against Arias, but now it's Passatoro with just 8 on the shot clock. Passatoro working her way inside. Now Flecker. She feeds it back to Callie. Callie's three-pointer is no good, but a huge offensive rebound by Flecker and the Dolphins. And we're now winding down to just over a minute remaining, and the Dolphins still with 18 seconds on the shot clock. 1 minute remaining in the game. 2 huge offensive rebounds for the Dolphins here down the stretch. Dolphins work it to Flecker. Now it's Callie. Her shot is knocked and blocked away, but Flecker comes down with the basketball. Her jumper is up. No good. We're going to have a whistle and a jump ball possession arrow, and it will remain in the hands of the Dolphins. So the Dolphins unable to score here down the stretch, but 3 offensive rebounds have allowed the Dolphins to maintain possession of the basketball with just 47 seconds remaining and just a 17-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Possession arrow to the Dolphins, and Hunter College is going to need to foul if they can't steal the inbounds. Passatoro with the basketball as she'll back the ball out, and if Hunter doesn't foul, they're just not going to have any time left. And now they finally foul with just 41.6 seconds remaining. But with a 6-point lead and Passatoro going to the free throw line, if she can hit just 1 of 2 from the free throw line, she will give the Dolphins a 3-possession lead with 41.6 seconds remaining here in the second half. And she hits the first, and the Dolphins who struggled with their free throws the entire game. When it got down the stretch and the Dolphins really needed to hit them, they've been able to hit them, and they've opened up a 7-point lead as Hunter College with the basketball now as their short layup is up. No good. Fight for the rebound. Craig comes away with the basketball. Arias will draw the foul. That will be her 5th foul. And with 30.2 seconds remaining, it looks like the College of Staten Island has finally put behind an extremely tough and game Hunter Hawk team as Hunter knocked down a 16-point Dolphin deficit, or Dolphin lead, I should say, down to 1 on 3 separate occasions, but Hunter was never able to put their nose out in front here in the second half, and the Dolphins look like they are going to hold on here as they've opened up their lead to 73-65 with just 30 seconds remaining in the game. The second free throw is up and in, and Hunter College has the basketball with just a 1-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Aponte with the basketball as she's able to retrieve. Aponte stops. She puts up the long three-pointer. It goes in and out. That was probably the final gasp for Hunter as the Dolphins will be fouled in the backcourt. And with 13.1 seconds remaining in the game, the Dolphins will advance their winning streak to 11 straight. They will increase their conference record to 13-1. They will maintain their one-loss lead in the CUNYAC Conference as they're going to defeat a very game Hunter College team. And, you know, Hunter College is coming into the Sports and Recreation Center, and they have served notice to both the CSI Dolphins and the Lehman Lightning and the Brooklyn College Bulldogs that they're a team to be considered as they head into the CUNYAC Conference. It looks like Hunter will end up finishing in 4th place, or at least even if they don't finish in 4th, Baruch will not be in the tournament. So they will finish with a 1-round bye, and they have put themselves in very good position as the long three-pointer is good, and that makes it an 8-point game with just 8 seconds remaining as the Dolphins bring the ball across the midcourt line. Price will dribble out, and that's going to do it. The College of Staten Island will win their 11th in a row as they hang on barely, and they defeat Hunter College by the final score of 76-68. So a nice job by Hunter College here in this second half. They were able to close the Dolphin lead at halftime, and they were able to make it an 8-point game. The Dolphins opened their lead up to as many as 16, but it wasn't enough as Hunter College ultimately drops this game to the Dolphins by a final score of 76-68, and we're pleased to be joined by Samantha Flecker. And first of all, Samantha, congratulations as the team wins their 11th in a row.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, Samantha, it was a tough game here throughout. The team was able to open up double-digit leads a couple of times, but you got to give Hunter a lot of credit. They just kept coming and coming at you here in the second half.
Yeah, not a lot of teams we play man on us, so we weren't used to this type of pressure. But we really held our own, and to be honest with you, with Chrissy with her point guard Cray, especially attacking the basket, our shots weren't falling, but our foul shots were finally hitting, and that's rare for us, but it happens.
You know, Samantha, the team has now won 11 games in a row. You only have 1 loss in the conference, but yet you have 2 huge games coming up this week. First against Brooklyn on the road on Tuesday night, and then against Lehman on Friday. This conference is still up for grabs.
Of course. It's whatever game is a big game. Coach always says every game is going to be a big game for us and a big win for us. The next 2 games are going to be a tough one, but we just have to play our game, keep running the ball, and just not let anyone get in our heads and just take it one game at a time. And
you know, Samantha, as this team heads down the stretch, you had a couple of big games in a row, and, you know, at the end of that Medgar Evers game, you were a little shaken up. How are you feeling physically heading down the stretch?
Physically, I wouldn't say that great, but to be honest with you, I would do anything for this team. I would literally play with, like, a broken ankle, anything, just because it's, like, my love for the game, and then also I want to help my team win. I'm sitting on the trainer's table, and I'm literally like, I can't do this. I have to get in. I can't sit here anymore, especially when the game was like 6 points away or almost tied, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to go in.
So before we let you go, one last question. 2 games remaining. The team sitting in first place. How do you feel heading down the stretch?
Honestly, it's a great accomplishment, but we can't get us being in first place get to our heads. We just have to play like we're in last place, play like we had nothing to lose. Just don't let any kind of big ego get in our way and just play our game.
Thanks for coming over and joining us, Samantha.
Thank you.
That's Samantha Flecker, nice enough to come over and join us as the Dolphins win their 11 straight. Both the men's and women's team win their 11 straight. The men have wrapped up the regular season CUNYAC championship. The women still with 2 big games remaining can finish first, can finish as low as third, and that's going to wrap things up here from the Sports and Recreation Center. It's been a big day here at the Sports and Recreation Center. We've had interviews with Samantha Flecker. We've had Kevon Martin. We've had both the men's and women's head basketball coaches join us as both the men and women win their 11th consecutive games here at the Sports and Recreation Center. So for Meshach Alexander, this is Mike Babuski saying so long and thanks for joining us. The College of Staten Island win here this afternoon by a final score of 76-68 as they hold on to their 1-game lead in first place. Our next broadcast will be next Friday night, the regular season finale against Lehman College. But don't forget to head down to Brooklyn this Tuesday night as the women try to maintain their grasp on first place. So have a great afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you next Friday night.